century in the year 2000. And that was fitting because he was someone who always looked forward. He was about innovation. He came to us from De College, where he had studied animation. And, well, he was a little behind when he came. There were some things he didn't know, but boy, Jules was a worker and a positive force, and he quickly learned everything as well and better than everybody else around him. We all loved him, as I'm sure all of you did, no matter how you knew him, and faculty and students, so much that by 2004 he was elected president of our student organization. It's called, embarrassingly, the Shrunken Headman Club, and you see that symbol on all of us. But the idea behind it was that no one got taken with themselves. No one had a huge ego, and everybody was working for each other, and Jules really exemplified that. At the time he was president of the club, well, now we have a whole slate of officers to help 600 students get everything done. But at the time Jules was president, it was kind of just Jules. And he did everything. He ran life drawing classes, he booked speakers, he really functioned like another faculty member while also being a student at school. So he was pretty amazing, and he got rewarded for this. He got noticed, and in 2004 he got a very prestigious internship at DreamWorks Animation. And the person who hired him, Marilyn Friedman, wrote a little bit of something about him at that time that I want to read. And she said, Jules absolutely loved animation in the most pure way. He was always so incredibly positive and excited. And it does seem to me that he lived life to the fullest in his love of animation. He had a passion and a community. And she writes, good for Jules. And I would second that. Because Jules was such an amazing person, we wanted to honor him. And in the year 2005, I had the privilege of nominating him for the AS 55 Awards at San Jose State. And that's an award that goes to 55 students a year who have done great things, both academically and for the community. So I nominated Jules, and I want to read you what I said in my nomination letter way back in 2005, because it still applies. And for all you students sitting up in the peanut gallery, I apologize for this, but it's still true. No one has taken his place. I wrote, Jules is an unusually brave and selfless person. I've had the honor to work with many amazingly talented students, that's all you up in the peanut gallery there, in more than 20 years at San Jose State University. And this is the part that may be a little hard to take, I can honestly say that Jules is the one I admire most. And it's been 30 years, and hey, that's still true. Jules was such a great student and such a wonderful addition to our community that after he finished his term as our club president, we made him our very first industry liaison. And in this capacity, he booked speakers and interviews for other students. He was truly amazing. So when he graduated in 2006, it kind of left a big hole, and we were supportive. We weren't too happy, but we were supportive. He went off to Animation Mentor, took a diploma, an added diploma in 3D animation, and did so well there that they hired him as a teacher. Well, that was too much. That was too much. We couldn't just let him go. So we brought him back to San Jose State, where, of course, he excelled. Jules' love for animation went beyond the commercial or the getting a job or doing it for money. This was something that was about love and commitment. And in his teaching career, he was able to pass that on to hundreds of other students. Jules was a wise person who always looked forward. But sometimes he looked back too, and he gave us that I remember, and I'm going to read those to you too, because I think Jules would probably want some of his own words said here too. So one of the memorable things that he sent out to the students and the faculty, and he always called his students his colleagues, not his students, so he was one of them. But this was last year on the death of a pioneer in animation, Ray Harryhausen. And you may know him, he did the animated skeletons in Jason and the Argonauts. And on his death, Jules wrote, yet another legend I had several opportunities as a student to meet, but I found myself too busy at the time. I regret not meeting him, as he inspired me on many occasions. His skeletons from Jason and Argonauts was one of my favorite all-time animated scenes, and still remains so. And he said to all the students, and this message went out to all 600 of them, while your studies take precedence, my suggestion on this day would be to work harder and never miss an opportunity to meet those who inspired your journey. So I love that. I saved it because I thought it was so great. And he gave advice to the students, but he also wasn't beyond giving advice to the faculty, including me, who was his boss at that time. And at one time we were embroiled in all kinds of political controversy at school, and we were all exhausted and bitter. And Jules sent an email, and I loved it. It just shows how he was always looking forward, always looking to the next thing. And it was real simple. He said, I read a great quote tonight that reminds us to fight the good fight. The secret of change is to focus all your attention not on fighting the old, but on building the new. And he gave the credit where credit was due for that one to Socrates. And when I was asked to speak tonight, I thought about that. I remembered that he had said that. And I thought, well, this is our opportunity to build the new. And in order to build the new, we are setting up a scholarship in Professor David Chai and Professor Courtney Granner, my fabulous colleagues. We've set up a scholarship in Jules' honor, and it's going to go to a student who shows Jules' great qualities of innovation and of persistence and of leadership. So what Jules means to us all will go forward. We will never forget his spirit. It's going to live on. Jules, here's to you. We love you. Okay, and the next person I should call up.